My birth certificate. I was born in Stockton, California, February 16, 1978. Diamond Hospital, West Acacia Street.
Born and raised in Stockton, but construction worker Miguel Silvestre just learned he may be deported again.
I never thought it ever happened to me again.
The first time was in 1999, one of the many times he ended up in San Joaquin County Jail.
So in 1999, I got arrested in my mother's house.
Silvestre's criminal record is far from perfect. It includes gun and drug charges and grand theft auto. But in 1999, he encountered immigration officials for the first time.
And they're like, hey, what's your name? I said, my name's Miguel. I was like, okay, ¿de dónde eres? Where do you mean where I'm from? I said, I'm from Stockton, California. They were like, it's not what our paperwork says. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Several days later, he says he was in unfamiliar territory, bused by immigration officials to Nogales, Mexico.
It makes me upset that my own government would do this to me, you know?
Eventually, he was able to return after his dad drove down from Stockton with his birth certificate. In a statement, a DHS spokesperson said ICE does not deport U.S. citizens and that Miguel was originally deported in 1999 because he claimed to be a Mexican citizen. Miguel denies that claim.
These guys decided that they would basically kidnap him.
Jackie Stevens runs the deportation research clinic at Northwestern. She's helping Silvestre with his case.
He would be taken through a number of offices and eventually dumped into Mexico.
She says in 2004, he was again denied entry back into the U.S. after a weekend in Mexico with a friend. He was charged with illegal re-entry. But when his mom came down to provide testimony, the charge was dropped. And Stevens says he left with a judge's order confirming his U.S. citizenship.
But there was nothing that then went into the system to indicate that that was final.
Stevens obtained the new deportation order through a FOIA request.
It's not implausible to imagine that they would just send people to whatever his most recent address is or his place of work and try to arrest him.
While Silvestre was happy to hear DHS said it's not targeting him, he's wary of whether or not his citizenship status has officially been corrected and whether the deportation order has even been withdrawn.
Just to get my name corrected or whatever needs to be corrected in the system, not to be looked at, you know, like I'm a nobody, you know, like I want to be looked at like an American, you know.
We asked DHS if that new deportation order was created by mistake and if it's been fixed, but the spokesperson did not respond to those questions. In San Francisco, Sarah McGrew, KCRA 3 News.
Now, according to that professor and Sarah's story, cases like Miguel's are rare but not unheard of. Her research found that at any given time, about 1% of the people who are in custody under immigration laws are U.S. citizens, and that 1% does translate to potentially thousands of U.S. citizens.